like to welcome you to BOI Meets Wellness, a podcast that discusses the complexities, celebrations, and challenges of building a wellness ritual as a BOI, a person who is born obviously incredible. You are now listening to BOI Meets Wellness with poet, motivational speaker, and wellness lover, Benton.
BOI, born obviously incredible, especially when you wear it pretty. Happy Friday, BOI Meets Wellness community. First off, happy LGBTQIA Pride Month. I'm excited about today's interview featuring Chelley Chelle of Let's Talk Radio. Born and raised in Los Angeles, Chelley Chelle grew up a Jehovah Witness, was disfellowshipped at the age of 17, and found her passion for comedy at the Comedy Store and Laugh Factory and performed all over the country. After constantly being sexually harassed for stage time, her love for comedy dwindled. She had a dream of being an actress and doing all this amazing work, but due to that, she was definitely taken back and did not want to do comedy anymore. And that's when the dream of Let's Talk Radio came and everything came full circle. So since Let's Talk Radio has been established, she's been able to connect with thousands of queer people of color and Black folks advocating for recycling of Black queer dollars, and has spent over $20,000 of her own money to support the community. She's sponsored by Arlen Hamilton and was awarded the 2019 Flame Starter of the Year for leadership and being a trailblazer for the community. But before we jump into this interview, of course, I have a wellness tip of the week for y'all. My tip for you is drink more water, and if possible, drink high quality water. 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. Although the survey found that Americans drank about 8 servings of water, this is offset by caffeinated beverages and alcohol and eating a diet that is high in sodium. Chronic dehydration can lead to an immense amount of concerning health issues that has been linked to decreased kidney function, kidney stones, hypertension, urinary tract infections, and even dementia. While this evidence is already devastating enough, the truth is researchers are only just getting started to understand the chronic effects of chronic dehydration. Thus, good water quality implies water that does not have harmful substances and absent from pollutants that can build up toxic, which means you're pretty much drinking poison. So a lot of our lower quality water can be found in plastic water bottles that have been sitting around for a while, building up chemicals and biology in the content of the water that makes it really harsh for our bodies. So if possible, drinking filtered water, drinking water that's in a canister that's made of aluminum or glass. I love the Mountain Valley water, even though it's hella expensive. It's pretty tasty, and it's from clean spring water that's drawn locally. So if you can, try to drink some high quality water. A lot of folks think like, I've been drinking water all day, I'm fine. But realize that when you drink caffeine, alcohol, and anything that's really salty, that's making you dehydrated as well. So you might need to have a little bit of extra water and make sure that it's high quality. Today's episode is brought to you by Mar Media. Mar Media is a media production company that produces, publishes, and uplifts the stories, art, and journeys of queer and trans people of color and the people who make our lives incredible. So the really exciting thing for y'all is one of Mar Media's first projects was my poetry collection, Sir. Sir is poetry dedicated to boyhood and Black queer love. And Sir turned 2 on June 1st. So you can head over to evolvebenton.com and grab a copy for yourself or for your friend. It's Pride Month and it's our birthday, so we're offering 40% off. All you have to do is just use the code BIRTHDAY. That's BIRTHDAY. So just put in the code BIRTHDAY in the promo section when you check out, and you should get 40% off of Sir. So that should be dope for folks. Send it to your loved ones. Send it to your friends. It's Pride. I'm sure someone can use some amazing queer and Black poetry. So now let's jump into this amazing interview with the dope, the flyest, and the funniest Chelley Chelle of Let's Talk Radio. Hello, world. Welcome to BOI Meets Wellness. It's your boy, Evolve. Hella excited and pumped up about this interview this evening on this Good Friday. We're here with Chelley Chelle from Let's Talk Radio. Chelley Chelle, how are you?
What's up, Yvonne, man? Thank you so much for having me on your show. I am a fan of yours and your book and just your energy. I got my boy hoodie on right now. You feel me?
You in there flexing. Yeah, we're going to have to, when we get out of this pandemic, as they call it, we're going to have to sit down and get in our gear. I read your bio earlier today, and you were saying you spend your own bread on our community, and I really, really appreciate that. So welcome to Boy Meets Wellness. Can you just share with folks a little bit about yourself, your pronouns? And I always like to start off with what brings you joy.
Okay, my pronouns are boss or jefe.
Ashe.
My thought process about pronouns has evolved, and we'll get into that another time. But so, yeah, just call me Chelley Chelle or boss or jefe if you can't do Chelley Chelle. And what brings me joy is just really simple, is the awareness of joy. So I'm able to find it everywhere because I'm looking for it, and I'm aware that you can find joy in little things. So it really doesn't take much to make me happy. Being here with you right now is joy. Being able to still connect with people in this quarantine time. So I find joy in everything.
That's beautiful. So as far as people in your life, who would you say makes your journey incredible? Like, if you had to make a list of people who you would show gratitude to, at your biggest award show, who would those people be?
I would not single anybody out. It is a collective effort from every energy and experience I've had in the last 35 years. Every single person I have talked to, communicated with, gave a hug to, had a bus stop conversation, has really pretty much, made me who I am. So everybody, everybody, thank you, everybody.
That's beautiful. I remember having a conversation with you on Instagram, and I thanked you for something. I don't know, you shared a post. It was something, and you say all love all the time. And that's what I see you as. I see you as a person who's consistently showing up for our community and showing love, and I really, really appreciate that about you. So reading your bio, I seen that you were or are, I don't want to assume, Jehovah Witness at some point in your experience. And I just wanted to know, what was it like being that and being queer, and any type of like tips, or I would say words of encouragement or wisdom you would give to folks who might be having struggles with spirituality. Because I think that that's a part of that experience.
Right. Well, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness anymore. I was disfellowshipped at 17. I lost my religion and my mother relationship with my mom. But growing up a Jehovah's Witness, I loved it. I fucking loved it because that's all I knew. And I thought it was the real deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to go door to door giving the good news. I'm like, who don't want good news? Like, this is about to be lit. You feel me? So I was like a true Jehovah's Witness. I had the best knock on the doors. I used to train to knock on the door just right, so it wasn't too aggressive, but it was still meaningful. I had the best presentation. I had the least door slams of all Jehovah's Witnesses' career. I can guarantee you that. I had the least door slams. You feel me? Because I was able to connect with people. I didn't shove the religion down their throat. We just had a connection first, So, being a Jehovah's Witness was the bomb. And then when I had my spiritual awakening, which was around 16, then there was conflict with religion because those are two different things. So when you said advice, I would say understand that religion and spirituality are two different things. Research and understand what they both play in your life and how you can benefit from both of those things. Being a Jehovah's Witness made me very knowledgeable. It taught me how to seek out information. So I wouldn't give it up for the world. It is the best part of me. Even though I'm not a Jehovah's Witness anymore, it gave me my best qualities. So anybody that's struggling with their sexuality and spirituality and religious beliefs, I would just say keep searching. I don't have any advice for you. Just keep searching for the truth.
That's beautiful. When you think about your spirituality now, what does that practice look like for you? I know for me personally, it looks like really grounding myself in the morning, praying to the universe and showing gratitude. which when I think about it, is very much connected to my Christian background, right? Like everybody like pray, go to God, pray every day, ask for what you need.
Right.
But I think that what you're speaking about is a sense of maturity that kind of happens, right? Like when you really not only see spirituality as like this outside thing, but like I'm spirit, right? Like, so it can never be separated from me. So what does that practice look like for you?
I think my spirituality, matter of fact, I know my spirituality shows up in how I treat people. I'm still learning self-love and how to consistently show up for myself. But my spirituality and the best part of my character shows up in my dealings with other people. So I show love. All love all the time is the motto. Like it's what I live through. It's my thought process every time I encounter somebody. All love all the time. How can I show you love no matter what your unconditional love, no matter what your circumstances are? How can I be love? That's how my spirituality looks. I'm still searching how to consistently give myself self-care, self-love.
That's real. That's courageous too, to know that and see that in yourself. So you from LA, I'm from LA. I decided this just now because I got a few folks coming on the show that's from LA that I'm gonna ask everybody this question. It just came to me just now, literally just now.
Okay.
What's your favorite taco spot?
Oh, everybody from LA know there is no taco spot. You got to find the right truck.
I say.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know where the right taco truck is. I got to. It's one on Vernon and Western by Manual Arts High School.
Oh, I used to go to that one all the time. You speaking the real. You speaking the real.
That's the shit. And the late night one after the club is always open. Is on Venice and La Brea and the gas station.
Thank you. See, that's how I know when somebody really from LA, because you be asking people and then they start bringing up stuff in Long Beach and I'm like, yo, but I thought you said you was from LA. And then you realize they really from Cerritos. They ain't even from Long Beach. So, and somebody from LA when they start using cross streets. They don't even give you no address. We just see you go cross street. And you better look on all four corners and figure out where it's at.
Hey, that's true. And it's crazy because on the East Coast, they give directions with like real directions, like South and West. And I go over there and be like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Man, me and my partner, we go through it all the time because she's from Maryland. When we driving and she trying to get me, and I'm like, yo, just tell me the cross street. Just tell me I can't. I don't know. You're distracting me. I don't even know North and South, to be honest.
If I had purpose on my phone, I would be with that Uber when they be like stand on the southeast corner. Man, I would never catch my ride if I didn't have a purpose.
Exactly. So comedy, that's really what I wanted to bring us to right now, right? Like some joy, some moments of joy. What made you decide to pivot and go into comedy? Like what brought that upon? Like, were you always funny? Was this something that just popped up in your dreams? How did you manifest that?
No, yeah, I've definitely always been funny. I've probably collected 1 billion laughs, 1 trillion smiles over my lifetime. Always able to use the environment, and it's like a non-negative, non-self-deprecating comedy. It's refreshing. So when I started being a Jehovah's Witness, I literally tried everything. I went to mechanic school. I tried to be a pilot. Because I didn't even have any direction on what to do besides be a Jehovah's Witness. It's not encouraged to go to college. It's not encouraged to have a career. They tell you to pay Caesar's thing to Caesar's and God's thing to God, but they don't want you to really thrive in this world. You're supposed to be no part of the world. So when I left, got this fellowship, I didn't know what to do. I did everything. So I ended up linking up with somebody and they was like, go to an open mic, bro. And I was like, okay. Went to open mic and still didn't catch. And then one time, this magazine used to come. It was like for extended colleges, the extended colleges, like where you're not really a student, but you can go to the center and take classes.
I know what you're talking about.
So the continuation packet came, right? And I kept throwing it in the trash, but it kept coming. And I don't even know who subscribed to it, but my name was on that shit. So I was like, okay, that's crazy. So one day I opened it. No, actually, one day I was going to go throw it in the trash and it dropped on the floor. And when I picked it up, it was a comedy class on there. with Adam. I never forget with Adam. It was on Pico, and then it was a clown house though. Funny story. I was terrified of clowns. I walked in this man comedy class, and it was clowns everywhere.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
It was a big ass Ronald McDonald clown. It was like pictures of clowns. It was clowns that move when you walk by them. It was like walking into your biggest fear. And what I thought that was very symbolic as to the journey with comedy that came after that. Because comedy, you have to walk into your fear every time you go on stage. You have to be fearless to tell your story and be truthful about it and find a comedic spin to it and hope people laugh. And if they don't laugh, be able to live in that moment too. So I took the class, and even though it was rinky dink, it was a BS class. It was $100. The clown house, the dude was stealing my jokes. Shout out to Adam, fucking thief. But the graduation was at the Comedy Store. And that's huge. Like, most comedians have to work up to go to the Comedy Store. So I graduated on the main stage of the Comedy Store, and it was like 7 bookers in the audience and some people from the Comedy Store, and I got booked that night. So I was able to do shows at the Comedy Store repetitively, weekly. After that, when you usually have to like wait 3 years or something like that, and I put in work. And then I went to the Laugh Factory, and then I realized like, I could make a business of comedy. And so I just kept following it. But I lost respect for the business of comedy. And I started to appreciate the art of it. And that made me less of a stand-up comedian and more of a philosopher, I guess, like a comedic philosopher.
Very true, very true. So, wow. But look at the universe, man. Like this magazine popping up on you, you better pick it up, you better pick it up. Then finally you get in the class and you pretty much get the easy pipeline up, right? Like, I think it's amazing how the universe and how our journeys does that for us. There's some things in our lives that no matter how many times you would have threw that in the trash, it would have probably came right back at you like, nah, you're going to go do this right now. So for folks who are interested in getting into comedy, right? Like, because I know we got all this downtime now, right? Everybody at home. What can I do next? I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to be somebody. But for folks who want, not even just comedy, because I think even now what you're speaking about, like you're in entertainment, right? Like what advice would you give them about authenticity? And then what are some of the challenges with that?
Find your voice. If you find your voice, you will be able to perform in any arena, any environment, anything that happens, you'll be able to do that because you'll be speaking honestly from your unique perspective. That's really just comedy. Everybody, in my opinion, is a comedian. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just makes somebody else laugh like you're funny. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's your unique perspective. I might not look at something like that, and because you do, it's funny to me because I was surprised at how you process that. That's how you make somebody laugh. You surprise them with the elements that they're already familiar with. So in anything, I would just say find your voice and be able to live in the moment. Like, don't think about what nobody else is thinking. You have to control. Like, when I'm like an energy, like, controller, when I'm like hosting something, you got to control that environment and put your energy out there. So once you realize that you're the dominant energy, you really should be less fearful and more focused on creating and continuing a joyful, environment. And so I would just say, focus on that and find your voice. I don't have no advice. I don't really give advice because I feel like you're going to find it. Just keep searching for truth. You're going to find yourself. So there's nothing I can say to you. You know what I'm saying? Even if I tell you to do it this way, that might not be how your journey looks. So just keep speaking truth.
Definitely. Yeah. Even though I know you're not advising, but I think that's good advice. And sometimes the words that we hear, they just echo at the right time. So I know for so many times when my elders have told me stuff, it's like I don't hear it until the moment, right? Like earlier today, I was going through a consultation and they sent me back a honorarium, and I was like, do they know who I am? I'm not going to take this little bit of money. And I had this moment, and then I heard my grandma in the background saying, like charity starts at home and then spreads abroad, right? And I was like, I gotta take care of home base. I gotta, so I had to put a counter offer out there, and sometimes that gives me anxiety. But I did it and came back. It was great, but it was a moment where I heard her, right? And she said that to me probably like 100 times. But hopefully somebody will hear you in the background of their head saying, just be yourself and keep going, right? Like, be yourself and keep going and be comfortable in your skin, because that's really a real one. I think sometimes, especially our young people, our young LGBTQ people with the social media world, they put a lot out there before they're ready for what's going to come back.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're going to be sexy, you're going to get sexy. So,
right.
So
you're going to get some dick pics.
Yep, exactly. Be ready for it.
Yeah.
So what about entrepreneurship? What has that process been like for you? I always like to talk to creatives about this, because I think that it's a different world, right? Creating your own content, being in charge, trying to find your voice. What has that journey been like, and where are you now? Like, where do you feel like you're at with the radio show? Do you feel like you'll do radio for a while? Yeah, that's a big question, but yeah, where are you in your entrepreneurship journey?
Well, when I first began and realized I was an entrepreneur, I was like, oh, let me get a business and be successful. And, I want my business to thrive, and I want, people to know my business and all of this. And then I realized that I was chasing something that it was too stressful, and I was like, I thought being an entrepreneur was less stress. So now for me, entrepreneurship looks like freedom. I do whatever the fuck I want when I want to, without any worry from anybody or anybody else's, preconceived notion of what success is. Let's Talk Radio, it is an entity in its own. It does what it's supposed to do with or without me. The people know when they hear Let's Talk Radio, that's community. That means recycle your queer dollars. That means come together. That's like your mom, like, get your shit together. We're a community right now. Let's Talk Radio in the building. So it's the freedom to connect to people. I am so free right now. I don't have I spend, like we talked about, the money that I spend in the community. I feel so much more happier spending my money with my people. It's a whole different feeling. It's a whole nother protest that people are not even taking advantage of. It's a whole lot of empowerment. And so that's what entrepreneurship is to me, is freedom. And that's what I have now. So that's where I'm at with it. And Let's Talk Radio is growing. We're just connecting more people. My promotions for Let's Talk will always be free. Let's Talk Radio will always be a resource to the community. I don't want any money from anybody. I want this to push our community and give the visibility it deserves, so that we could be, just happy in our own skin together. So that's where we are right now with it.
That's beautiful. How did you, like, where did it come from? Let's Talk. Like, I always like to know the origin of names. Like, was you just sitting with the homies? Was you, like, smoking? You was drinking? You were eating some tacos? Like, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, let me just give a precursor to, again, back to my spiritual awakening when I was 16. When that happened, my awareness, it just, like, the universe was speaking to me, or I was listening finally. I don't know what it was. But literally, I don't do anything. Things literally come to me. Opportunities, people, what you make things successes, money. I don't chase or go after anything. Everything that I'm supposed to have is given to me. So Let's Talk Radio, legit, I had a dream. I had a dream about it, and it was mapped out, the whole dream. Like, I wish y'all could have seen. Well, y'all will see what Let's Talk was in the dream. But it was this huge radio station, and people was coming in and out and getting the stuff that they need. And thanks, Let's Talk Radio, and having, like, T-shirts on. It was a whole community, and you would go to events, and people had Let's Talk Radio T-shirts on. It was hugging, and it was just like people were being successful, and like getting the thing that they want, and was able to connect with the people they needed. And it was just this beautiful ray of love in the dream. And it was just so much love and overwhelming that the dream turned to light. And it was just a bright light, and the dream went away, and I woke up. And when I woke up, everything was already planned out for me. I had the name. The name was in the dream. I didn't even come up with that name. Like, that was in the dream. I didn't even come up with Let's Talk Radio.
Wow. It was like the universe was like, here you go. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Stop playing games.
Facts. I didn't come up with any of this. Like, I'm just doing what I saw in the dream because it felt so real. And I knew Poetess already previously because of some other comedians who had used her studio. And I love the fact that Poetess, shout out to OG Poetess and Moore's Media Studios for giving me a home and, you know, just harnessing my talents and mentoring me. This was a big step that legitimized Let's Talk Radio because you're coming to an actual studio. And it's a real studio. You come in, you feel more empowered. Your story feels more real. So, yeah, I called Poetess. And I was like, I think I want to start a podcast. Even though before this, I hated podcasts. I hated radio. I was not comfortable, but I did it anyway because of the dream. And I was dating a girl at the time. And a part of it was me trying to impress her. And because I didn't have a lot of money, so I wanted her to see my potential. You feel me? Like, hold on, baby, I don't got no chance.
I'm gonna be a star, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Check out this potential, though. Till the money comes, check out this potential, though, right? So she actually started the organization of Let's Talk Radio. She used to produce it with me. Shout out to Midori Bastine. Even though we don't talk right now, I'll give her props any day of the week. She put the organization with Let's Talk Radio. That was the first time I had seen. She did the first logo. She put so much work into it, and we were just, building it together. And I had a co-host at the time. Shout out to Big Mickey.
Oh wow! So you had a co-host in the beginning?
I had a co-host in the very, very, very beginning, almost like the first year, and then it just evolved past that. And the message became more clear that it needed to, be more of a spotlight on that person. So everything else had to go. So it's just me and whoever I'm interviewing so that their story can get that highlight. And that's what it evolved to. So that's how we have Let's Talk Radio. And that's how I'm able to be intentional with Let's Talk Radio and the things that I do. It's very easy to run because of the intentions. So I don't have a hard time making decisions because I know what the intentions are. And that's something that's important to move intentionally.
Oh, I didn't even know you had a co-host. Look at you. You done navigated through, done found your way, found your brand. That's brilliant. So if you could interview anybody right now, who would it be? Like anybody who's probably not accessible. We could even say somebody that's not even on the planet right now. Maybe somebody who might have passed over. Who would that person be? And what would be one of the questions you would ask them?
I have always wanted to, and I believe I will interview Queen Latifah. That's just the most, for me, Queen Latifah was the visibility that I didn't understand I needed until later. And I'm very much so like Queen Latifah, like the femininity and the masculinity at the same time. I think I'm a little bit more masculine than Queen because her rap be on point. But
it really do though. Like
her hair be on point. Like
you need to do some videos on YouTube. How do you wrap that hair, girl? How?
You rapping? It's been like that since Living Single though. She used to kill with that rapping Living Single. Anyway, but I would definitely interview Queen, and I don't have one question. I got a billion questions for Queen, and I would just want to know, what would she say to the queer community? Because we've been waiting to hear from you, waiting to hear you speak. It's been so, we don't know if you are, but we do know you are, but we haven't heard it from your mouth type. What would you say to the LGBT community? Are you family? I think that's something that everybody would want to, the number one question to ask Queen. And if you don't want to label yourself, explain to us, your perspective, your thinking on this.
Yeah, I think that would be a very powerful interview. I've often thought about her. Think about her a lot. I think about Whoopi Goldberg a lot. I think about folks who showed up in these very tomboyish, ambiguous ways. And I'm 33, and earlier you mentioned you're 35, so I think we're on the same trajectory as time. But the images that we see, even the brat, right? That we seen growing up, that felt so much like our experience, right? Like something that mirrors what you're feeling inside, but they never really said it. So yeah. But you know, I think the older queens get, because I call everyone a queen, I think that the more honest they are. So I can't wait for Queen Latifah to come on your show and to give you all of the tea. I will be tuning in because I know it's going to happen.
I know it is. Yeah,
this is the space of manifestation for real.
For real, it's gonna happen. She just had her son. Like, I know she's getting it. If I could just get in one room with Queen, I'm good. She's very personable. She's not standoffish. You know, I actually met her before.
Oh, really? Where'd you meet her at?
Like the Serving Spoon. Now you know the Serving Spoon.
Yeah.
You're from LA. So I was at the Serving Spoon with my ex at the time, Asia. Shout out to Asia. I know, long time.
Give everybody credit. Everybody love.
Yeah. Like I said, everybody, you know what I'm saying, contributed to who I am. So I appreciate everybody, no matter how it turned out. But we was at the Serving Spoon. Queen was there, I'll never forget, in blue basketball shorts and a white t-shirt. And she was there with her girlfriend. And she had her hair was pressed, but it was in a ponytail. And she was sitting down with, like, you know how you sit down and you put your hands around the rim of your pants, but not like all of it in your pants, but you just put them like right there, like a holster.
Mm-hmm.
She was sitting down like that, some real stud activity. You feel me? Real boyish. And I turned into a straight groupie, and I was just staring at her and staring at her. I was like, "Is that Queen? Are my eyes serious right now?" So finally, we was waiting on our table because if y'all know Serving Spoon on a Sunday, it's ridiculous.
You're gonna be waiting for a while.
You're gonna be waiting. Bring a blunt or something. So I finally went up to her and I was like, "I'm sorry for staring, but I love you. And that's all I want to say. I'm gonna give you your Sunday. We don't gotta take pictures, none of that. I just want to say I love you and thank you for being who you are." And she was like, "Thanks, I appreciate that." And I left her alone.
Wow. Oh wow. I don't even know if I would have been able to, like, you know, consume words like that. So I'm proud of you for that one. I'm really proud.
It was so, you know how you be talking and your whole body be like jittering, like your jaw be like shaking off off the mandible and shit.
You out having outer body experiences.
It was just like that. I was shaking, man. I was not ready. But now if I see Queen again, I'm ready.
You ready. Yeah, you know, they say it's space and opportunity, right? Like being prepared for the moment, you know, as fellow Nipsey would say. So speaking of celebrities, so I seen you at, I think it was a 20s party, right? With Lena Waithe. Was that 20s or was it another?
Oh, no, I was kicking it with Lena a little bit that week. Not kicking it like we homies, but she invited me to the Boomerang. I was at the Boomerang.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So when we gonna see Lena on the show? Have you did that? Did you slide that one in there?
Oh, Lena's en route. That's confirmed. Lena's en route.
Nice. That's dope, man. I'm really proud of the work that she's putting out there, and seeing y'all together really was impactful for me because I was like she's totally accessible. I totally feel like she is. I mean, I remember when she used to be in Lamarck Park. I was at UCLA when she was doing Dear White People with Justin. It was like 25 people in the room. Nobody cared, right? Right. But I think it's so powerful the way that she elevates us, right? Like the way that she shows up for boys in a particular way. And I think that you do that as well, right? But people don't see the shine in the same way if you ain't like making big old films or something like that. Right. I think that Lena sees the connection and is willing to do that level up. So it's almost like a pipeline. You know what I'm saying? Like that we're creating for the visibility that we deserve. Right. You know, which is what Let's Talk is all about. It's all about family and all love and all the time. So I guess one of my final questions for you before we shift, because we talked about romance a little bit. So one, what's your zodiac sign? Because I know listeners going to want to know that. You know, you could tell us all about the moon, the stars, and the rising if you know that, because, you know, people go deep into it. And then when you're thinking about a partner, number one, do you have one? And if you do, like, what qualities does that person have that you really enjoy? Or what qualities do you look in for a future partner?
Okay. Well, I'm a Scorpio, so y'all welcome.
I should have known. You gave me the energy. I'm a Leo, so we both kind of put on the tab of not being the greatest, but we're great.
Well, I think, and then too, I think it's important that you don't assess behavior to people through a zodiac sign. I think it might be some similarities, but because of the environment and how it affects that person. But it's also, awakening and understanding intelligence that molds who the person is. So because you hear Scorpio, that doesn't mean I'm like revengeful, I'm a liar, I'm not, all of this stuff. I will fuck you right though. That's true. That's a true thing about Scorpios. I just want to put that out there. Scorpios are the biggest freaks. That's true. But I guarantee you, I'm unlike any Scorpio. I'm unique, as we all are. Am I single? Yes, I'm very single. I've been single, since I started Let's Talk Radio for the most part. 2018, probably, yeah.
I've been single. 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah. But I'm not a serial monogamous either. Like, I'll get out of a relationship and stay single for 4 years and it don't bother me. So I'm not like somebody that's in a whole bunch of relationships. There's only a couple of women who could say they had the pleasure. So, but in terms of a partner, what I'm looking for is vulnerability and the ability to comprehend. I don't even want you to communicate. If you don't have to say nothing, that's perfect for me too. But
and you don't want them to talk.
I'm just saying you ain't got to do a whole bunch of talking. What I'm saying is, don't be verbose. Like I don't like a lot of talking. I like precise messages, like for you to know exactly what you're trying to say, so you don't have to go forever saying it. Because then I lose interest. Then you lose me. But your comprehension, not your ability to communicate, but your ability to understand what you've heard and read.
That's basics right there. That's some basic needs, but I can see how it probably doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's not. It's common sense is not common. I'm just gonna say that I have ran into a lot of dummies. I'm not even trying to. You be like, bro, what are you thinking right now? Like, it's just like it's a lack of, I don't know, like evolution. I've talked to a lot of women who are stuck in like high school mentally, junior high mentally, like just not. They have no emotional intelligence. It's just not. I'm just turned off by a lot of what I'm seeing right now. So I think that's why I'm staying single. So yeah, emotional intelligence is an important thing. Comprehension and vulnerability. Those three things, and I'm golden. I love you.
That's real. That's real. You got to know what you want and know what you need. So if folks in our community want to support Let's Talk Radio, how can they do so? How can they find you? How can they make sure that you stay? Even though I know you don't accept money, but do you accept donations? Can they just share the work? Like, what's the best way for them to support your show, and how do they find it?
We're on YouTube, both on Morris Media Studios and Let's Talk Radio YouTube. So subscribe, like, comment, share, do all the social media things that I need for visibility. But don't send me any money. What you can do is any of the brands, the queer Black-owned brands that I shout out, buy something from them and say you saw it on Let's Talk Radio. That's the best way. That is the biggest thing you can do for me. I appreciate that more than any money you can ever send me. Is to support our community. And that'll just make me feel you're already lessening my load. You feel me? Because that's less money I got to spend. Because if you don't buy it, I'm buying it. So, try to stimulate our economy. And just say, you learned that from Let's Talk Radio. And I'm good.
That's dope. Stimulating our economy, fam. Like, you're on to some next level stuff. And I really, really appreciate that. So out of all, I see that you, in your bio, you're a brand ambassador for Stuzzo clothing.
Stuzzo?
Yep, Stuzzo. Okay. Yes. I love their stuff, man. I really appreciate I appreciate the fact that their stuff is like loud and really shows us like what we say, how we speak. It's very much our culture. But what other brands are you brand ambassador for? Any other brand, or is there any brand that you want to shout out in particular that you want folks to check out?
Oh man, this is the awards list right here. I'm not an ambassador for anybody, but please get obviously a boy hoodie. Shout out to Dorky Nerd. Shout out to Dorky Nerd. Dorky Nerd started just recently, and they dropped off like 3 bags of merchandise to my front door. So shout out to Dorky Nerd. Shout them out. Ambrosio. Let's see who else. I'm trying to show y'all. Oh, the Conscious Being. I want y'all to know brands that are not familiar to you. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to those off the bat. There's so many more. Like it's just so many more that I'm trying to look in my closet right now. Oh, shout out to Unconfined Apparel. Shout out to who else? What hoodie is that right there to the left? That gray one. Oh, that's the boy hoodie. I'm looking at my closet. I'm trying to figure out mentally who's in the closet. But yeah, shout out to everybody. Stuzo is my number one apparel. I go to them they're my go-to for interviews, for photo shoots, for events. So shout out to Stoney and Uzo. I love them. But just if you see anything on Let's Talk Radio, please support. Bye.
Hella dope, hella dope. Well, thank you so much, fam. We're gonna head into Boy Talk and Hop, have a little bit more fun. I thought that the interview part was more serious, but that was fun, man. I enjoy sitting down with you. I can't wait to come to your studio, man, and sit down.
Man, I can't wait.
After this COVID is over with, and hang out, bring you some swag and bring you some food probably, because I like to cook down, and make it happen.
That's how you get them all the right words.
That's how you get friends, man. If you can cook and roll a blunt, you can make it. You can make it.
Fact. You'll always be on the top 3. Okay, you've all got to cook because you all.
Exactly. So with Boy Talking Hop, it's just like a fill in the blank, right? I got this actually from Snoop Dogg's podcast, because he does this at the end of his and just kind of gives pop-up questions. So I'm going to be like, money is, and then if somebody asks me that, I would say money is energy, right? So you're just going to kind of fill it in, whatever comes to your mind.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. So my favorite food is?
Tacos.
Of course, LA.
Yeah.
Money is?
A distraction.
Ownership is?
Freedom.
Love is?
Everywhere.
My favorite book is?
Here Comes the Sun.
Who's that by?
I got to get back to you on that one.
Okay, no worries.
Actually, my other favorite book is by Paulo Coelho. It's escaping me now. Hold on.
Alchemist?
The Alchemist. Yeah, Alchemist.
Yep. I'll drop that in the show notes so folks can check it out. I always try to give people a book episode.
Mm-hmm.
Sex is?
Addictive.
Well-being is, or wellness is?
Self-induced.
Abundance is?
Man, that's a good question. What is abundance to me? I didn't know that. I didn't know what my relationship to abundance. I guess I would associate abundance with overflow.
And then Let's Talk is?
A vibe.
Last but never least, Chelley Chelle is?
Chelley Chelle is human.
Beautiful, fam. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, for your energy, for your interview, for letting me pick your brain, letting me get to know you.
No, that's what's up. I appreciate you. And let me tell you, like, your format is way more structured than mine. It's like when you were sending me the emails, I'm like, she is so organized. Like, I've been doing this for 3 years. I gotta have none of this. Like,
yeah, man, it's the Leo in me, and also just like I crave structure. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I don't have it, I'm flailing. Like it might look good on the outside, but on the inside, I needed to contain myself. So thank you for doing that. And then also like certain people, to be honest, I was more casual in the beginning, But because it's like more around entrepreneurship and business, certain people, I was noticing that their vibe was that. So I was like, I'd rather be here than to be too casual. Because I could always make it more casual, right? But I can't never go back. So now we got emails. I got little templates. I'm ready to go.
Look, this is lit. Shout out to you. I always appreciate your vibe and your spirit and just the way you speak. Like, I appreciate you for speaking with intention because I always feel you. So thank you so much for having me on the show and just what you contribute to the community. Hey, it's your boy, Chelley Chelle, and you already know I was born, obviously, incredible.
Thanks for listening to Boy Meets Wellness. Stay connected on and off the show by following us online at BOI Meets Wellness. That's boy with an I. Until next